Alright, you sit down after a long day, snacks in hand, controller charged, and you're ready to dive into a game that actually respects your time. Not one that throws 10-minute tutorials at you or side quests where you fetch someone's lost goat for 5 XP. I'm talking about games that grab you from the first minute and don't let go until the credits roll or until you forget to sleep, whichever comes first. Today, we're talking 20 PS5 games that are worth every second. And I don't mean good enough for a rainy Sunday. I mean the kind of games that make you cancel weekend plans, ignore your group chat, and maybe, just maybe, shed a single manly tear during a cutscene. These are the games where every second matters, whether you're swinging through a neon city, battling a demon the size of a skyscraper, or making morally questionable choices in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Some are brutally hard, some are chill, some are so beautiful they make you stop mid-game and just stare, and a few, well, they might just surprise you with how much heart they've got under the hood. So whether you're a casual button masher or a hardcore trophy hunter, trust me, there's something here for you. Ready to discover the games that earn your time? Let's jump into it. And hey, don't blink. You might just miss your next favorite obsession. One moment you're making a last stand against a horde of goblins, the next you're chatting with a sentient brain in a jar. That's a normal afternoon in Baldur's Gate 3. This epic RPG feels like stepping into a living, breathing Dungeons & Dragons campaign, where your choices shape the story at every turn. You create a character, or choose from one of several richly written origin characters, and set out in a land beset by mind flayers, demons, and political intrigue. Right from the prologue, where you and a band of unlikely allies escape a crashing alien ship, you're given immense freedom in how you proceed. Save a trapped mind flayer tadpole host or put them out of misery. Ally with a cult for convenience or defy them and face the consequences. The game constantly asks you to decide, and there is rarely a wrong answer, only different outcomes that ripple through the narrative. Gameplay-wise, Baldur's Gate 3 is a masterclass in adaptive, strategic play. Combat is turn-based and follows D&D 5th edition rules pretty closely, which means every battle is a tactical puzzle. Positioning, clever use of spells and the environment, and a bit of luck, those virtual dice rolls, are key. One fight might see you quietly setting up an ambush with grease and fire traps, while another battle has you improvising by knocking foes off ledges or into hazards. But if fighting isn't your style for a given situation, you often have other options. Sweet talk the guard with a high charisma and a persuasion check, have your rogue pick the lock and sneak in, or maybe polymorph the problem character into a harmless sheep. The level of freedom in approaching challenges is almost unheard of in a video game. It feels like you can truly try anything, and the game will typically have a logical response ready. And when things go sideways, they often hilariously do, those are stories you'll be telling your friends about for weeks. What really makes it all sing is the world and characters. The writing and voice acting are phenomenal across the board. Your party companions are complex, flawed, and incredibly memorable, like a brooding cleric hiding a dark secret or a sarcastic vampire rogue wrestling with his bloodthirst. Gaining their loyalty or sparking a possible romance involves understanding their motivations and reacting to their personal quests, which are just as engaging as the main storyline. The city of Baldur's Gate and the realms around it are packed with detail and lore. Major characters can live or perish, factions will become allies or enemies, and the ending can play out in vastly different ways. It's the kind of game where two players might compare notes after 80 hours and realize their journeys diverged in dozens of places. Despite being a grand, traditional RPG, Baldur's Gate 3 never wastes your time with filler. Every quest feels meaningful. Every character has purpose. It's also welcoming to newcomers with adjustable difficulty and helpful tutorials, easing you into the mechanics. If you love RPGs, this is a new gold standard. If you're newer to the genre, it's an awesome, if enormous adventure to sink your teeth into. Few games offer this level of depth and reactivity. Baldur's Gate 3 is the sort of experience where you blink and hours have passed, all because you got lost in its world making tough decisions, laughing at unexpected antics, or reveling in a hard-won victory. It's absolutely worth every second. And when you reach the end, you'll likely be thinking about starting all over again to see what could happen differently. Neon lights reflect off your car's windshield as you speed down Night City's bustling streets, synthwave music pulsing in your ears. Cyberpunk 2077 offers moments like this, pure cyberpunk bliss, alongside high-stakes action and a gripping narrative. After a rocky launch, the game has been transformed on PS5 into the futuristic playground we were promised. You play as V, a mercenary outlaw in a decadent, dangerous future metropolis. Whether you're leaping out of your car in a slow-motion shootout against corporate agents or sneaking through a gang hideout with hacking gadgets at the ready, Cyberpunk 2077 makes you feel like the star of your own sci-fi blockbuster. Night City itself is the real star, a sprawling open-world metropolis dripping with atmosphere and detail. Towering holograms and skyscrapers, seedy back alley markets under flickering neon, ritzy corporate plazas patrolled by security drone. It's an incredibly immersive setting, and it's packed with things to do. You might take on gigs, side missions, ranging from rescuing a kidnapped prisoner to infiltrating a brain-dance black market. You can chill out at a street food stall and listen to locals gossip, get your car tuned up, or buy a new cybernetic upgrade from a ripper doc to enhance your skills. The freedom in how you build V is fantastic. Go heavy on augmentations to become a super strong cyborg who can punch through walls, or specialize in stealth tech and optical camouflage to ghost through missions unseen, or anything in between. The combat and gameplay cater to many styles, whether you love FPS gunplay, sneaky hacking, or slicing foes up close with arm-mounted blades. What elevates Cyberpunk beyond the sandbox fun is its narrative and characters. Early on, V gets tangled up with the digital ghost of Johnny Silverhand, a brazen rockstar revolutionary brought to life by Keanu Reeves, who now shares headspace with you thanks to a biochip gone wrong. This central storyline is full of twists, intense heists, and emotional moments as V and Johnny form an uneasy bond. But even beyond that, the game is rich with memorable characters. Your badass nomad buddy Panam, the compassionate techie Judy, the savvy fixer Rogue, and so many more. The side quests are often as compelling as the main plot, diving into personal stories that flesh out Night City's dark, neon heart. Crucially, your choices matter. Missions can branch with different outcomes, and your decisions lead to multiple endings. With the massive updates and the Phantom Liberty expansion, adding an entirely new spy thriller chapter, Cyberpunk 2077 on PS5 now truly shines. Technically, it runs smoothly and looks stunning, drawing you even deeper into its world. It's a game that can easily devour dozens of hours because there's always another intriguing job to do, another corner of the city to explore, or another cool piece of cyberware to try out. If you love open-world RPGs with a strong story and tons of customization, Cyberpunk offers a uniquely stylish experience. It's come a long way and proven that Night City is absolutely worth visiting. Every gritty, neon-drenched second of it. Wake up on a rocky beach with a bad hangover and no idea how you got there. Then get stabbed by an absolute stranger, snap back to consciousness, and do it all over again. Welcome to Deathloop, where dying is just another chance to outsmart your enemies. This stylish first-person shooter drops you into a 1960s-flavored time loop as Colt, an assassin trapped on the lawless island of Black Reef. The only way to break free is to eliminate 8 targets called Visionaries in a single day, which is easier said than done. Time resets every midnight, or whenever you die, but the knowledge you gain carries over, turning each loop into a learning experience rather than a loss. Deathloop's gameplay is all about player freedom and clever problem-solving, wrapped in slick action. Black Reef is divided into 4 districts, each with different events and opportunities that unfold across 4 time periods: morning, noon, afternoon, evening. You get to choose where to go and when, piecing together clues and patterns. Maybe a door is locked in the morning but open at night, or 2 of your targets can be lured into one location at a specific time if you tweak things just right. It's a bit like a murder puzzle sandbox, and you get to decide how to take out each visionary. Will you sneak through levels silently, hacking turrets and picking off guards with a silenced pistol, or go in guns blazing with dual-wielded SMGs and a flurry of supernatural powers? Speaking of powers, you'll acquire some wild abilities, called slabs, from certain targets like short-range teleportation, invisibility, or telekinetic blasts, adding a Dishonored meets Grindhouse vibe to combat. As you perfect your runs, you also gain the ability to retain favorite weapons and powers between loops, so your arsenal grows as your mastery does. What sets Deathloop apart, beyond its loop mechanic, is its attitude and style. The game oozes a cool retro aesthetic. Think James Bond villain lair meets pop art psychedelia. The soundtrack grooves, the guns feel punchy, and the level design invites creativity. Then there's the cat and mouse dynamic between Colt and Juliana, the island's snarky protector who taunts you over the radio and occasionally invades your game to hunt you down, sometimes even controlled by another player online. Their banter is genuinely funny and pushes the story forward as you slowly uncover why you're stuck in this loop to begin with. Every loop you break more of the mystery, and the sense of, aha, when a plan comes together is immensely satisfying. Deathloop is one of those games that makes you feel smart, sneaky, and badass all at once. It's challenging, but in a way that encourages you to experiment rather than punishes you. Each failed attempt is just fuel for your next try with a new insight under your belt. Whether you're a fan of stealthy shooters, clever puzzles, or just dig the whole time loop concept, Deathloop delivers with style. By the time you engineer the perfect day to take down all 8 targets, you'll be grateful for every trial and error second you put into breaking this vicious cycle, because it was absolutely worth it. A massive knight in grotesque armor raises its giant sword, and with one swing, you're crushed. You died, flashes on screen. Demon's Souls, the PS5 remake, doesn't pull its punches, but overcoming its trials is an experience like no other. This is the legendary game that birthed the Souls-like genre, resurrected on PS5 with jaw-dropping graphics and eerie, atmospheric detail. You play as an adventurer braving the cursed kingdom of Boletaria, a land shrouded in fog and overrun by demons. From the moment you step through the towering gates of the Boletarian Palace, the game establishes an almost palpable tension. Every corner could hide a lethal knight or a fire-breathing dragon, and every boss you face feels imposing and impossible, until you learn their patterns and finally triumph. Demon's Souls is above all about mastering challenge. Combat is deliberate and strategic. You can't button mash your way to victory. You have to read enemy movements, time your blocks or dodges, and choose the right moments to strike. When you die, and you will many times, you generally respawn at the start of the level, enemies reset, and you have to fight your way back to reclaim the souls. Experience points you drop. It's a harsh punishment, but it teaches you to play smarter, to be patient, and observe. And the sense of accomplishment you get from finally beating that boss or clearing that level that gave you so much trouble is immense. It's gaming adrenaline and elation in its purest form. Along the way, you'll find all sorts of weapons, spells, and gear that let you refine your playstyle, whether you want to be a heavy armored knight, a nimble rogue, or a spell-slinging mage. And in true Souls fashion, you can even summon other players to help you in tough battles or invade others for some PvP showdowns, adding to the excitement. Beyond the difficulty, what makes Demon's Souls unforgettable is its oppressive yet awe-inspiring atmosphere. Each of the 5 Archstone worlds you explore has a distinct flavor of dark fantasy horror. You'll trudge through a rainy castle battlement, while eerie chants echo in the distance, descend into a plague-infested swamp lit only by greenish fog, and tiptoe through a prison of souls filled with the rattling chains of the damned. The PS5 remake's graphics make these places look stunning in their bleakness. The lighting and detail bring Boletaria's haunting beauty to life. The bosses are grotesque and fascinating, whether it's the colossal Tower Knight or the deceptively clever old monk. The soundtrack is haunting, amplifying the tension and the relief in equal measure. Make no mistake, Demon's Souls is a demanding game that proudly wears its hardcore reputation. But if you're up for the challenge, it's completely worth your time. And even if you're more of a casual player, there's something undeniably captivating about the world and the boss designs. You might find yourself improving step by step without even realizing it. It's the ultimate test of skill and perseverance on PS5, and when you finally see those end credits roll, you'll know you've conquered something truly special. Every defeat, every narrow victory, all of it builds to a gaming journey that's absolutely worth every second of struggle. You stand at the edge of a misty lake, gazing up at a colossal castle looming in the distance, its turrets disappearing into stormy clouds. Elden Ring is full of moments like this, where the world itself practically dares you to venture forth and seek out its mysteries. This game drops you into the expansive realm of the lands between with almost no guidance, and that's part of the thrill. See that distant mountain or that crumbling cathedral far off on the horizon? You can go there. Elden Ring's open world is absolutely massive and brimming with secrets. Hidden dungeons, roaming dragons, abandoned villages, and otherworldly landscapes await those brave enough to explore. Around every corner is a new discovery or a new challenge, and often it's both at once. Of course, with great freedom comes great danger. Elden Ring is an evolution of the famed Dark Souls formula, so expect tough-as-nails enemies and boss fights that will test your mettle. But it's also surprisingly approachable. If one path or boss is too hard, you can simply ride your spectral steed, torrent in another direction, find better gear or level up, and return stronger. Combat is tense and strategic. You'll dodge, parry, and strike at just the right moment to bring down terrifying foes. Whether you're a nimble rogue dual-wielding blades, a heavy knight with a colossal sword, or a spell-slinging mage raining fire from afar, the game lets you craft a playstyle that suits you. And when you finally slay a demigod that has been blocking your progress, the rush of triumph is unbelievable. Even defeat isn't wasted time. Each death teaches you something, and heightens the suspense as you inch closer to victory. What makes Elden Ring truly special is how it rewards curiosity. The game doesn't hold your hand, but if you follow your instincts, a flicker of light in a cave, an intriguing piece of lore from an NPC, or just the urge to see what's over the next hill, you're bound to find something amazing. It might be a gorgeous vista of an underground star-filled cavern, a quirky character who offers a quest, or an epic optional boss guarding a legendary treasure. The sense of adventure is second to none. Even after dozens of hours, the world keeps unveiling new surprises, making exploration continuously exciting rather than repetitive. For both hardcore gamers who relish a challenge and more casual players willing to embrace a grand adventure, Elden Ring is an unforgettable experience. Yes, it's difficult at times, but the game gives you the tools and freedom to overcome anything. And the feeling of gradually unraveling this dark, beautiful world is incomparable. incomparable. It makes every step, every struggle, and every hard-won victory feel worth it. Elden Ring isn't just a game, it's a journey that rewards your time and curiosity like few others, making it absolutely worth every second. A knight in black armor soars into the sky, transforming into a phoenix of flame, only to clash mid-air with a titan of rock and fury. Scenes like this are the norm in Final Fantasy XVI, a game that cranks the epic scale up to 11. This installment of the legendary series goes full-on action RPG, delivering some of the most spectacular battles ever seen in Final Fantasy. You play as Clive Rosfield, a warrior infused with the power of a dark icon summon named Ifrit, caught in the middle of a war that's tearing his realm apart. From the first hour, FFXV grabs you with jaw-dropping set pieces, godlike icons duking it out, armies clashing on battlefields, and one-on-one duels that could level mountains. It's not just eye candy. The gameplay is fast-paced and smooth, bringing a Devil May Cry-style flair to combat. Clive is a one-man army, and as you progress, you unlock powers from multiple icons to enhance your fighting style. One moment you might be dashing across an arena wreathed in flames. The next you're slowing time with a gust of wind or crashing down with a fist of earth. Chaining together these elemental attacks into combos is deeply satisfying, each with its own spectacular visual flourish. Combat is also very accessible. If you're not an action game pro, optional equipable rings can automate dodges or combos so you can focus on the story. At the same time, there's plenty of challenge for hardcore players who want to master every move, especially in the tougher New Game Plus modes. Some boss fights will test your reflexes and timing to the max. The story is high drama, blending political intrigue with heartfelt character moments. Think Game of Thrones meets classic Final Fantasy. Kingdoms vie for control of magical mother crystals, and Clive becomes entangled in a web of alliances and betrayals. It's a darker tale than past entries, with some shocking twists and tragic backstories, but it's balanced by themes of friendship, hope, and fighting for a better future. Clive is a compelling protagonist, and you'll come to care about his companions like Jill, his childhood friend and confidant, or Cid, a rebel with a heart of gold. The voice acting and cutscene direction are top-notch, making every emotional moment hit hard. Final Fantasy XVI feels like playing a big-budget fantasy TV series, except you're in control of the action. The graphics are stunning, the orchestral soundtrack swells at all the right moments, and the boss battles are pure spectacle. Most importantly, it's a blast to play, not just watch. Whether you're a longtime Final Fantasy fan or new to the series, this game pulls out all the stops to keep you entertained. By the end of Clive's journey, you'll have experienced a roller coaster of emotion and adrenaline, and you'll know that every second was well worth it. A sea of red maple leaves swirls in the wind as two samurai face off, swords drawn. In that frozen moment before steel clashes, Ghost of Tsushima. Director's Cut captures the essence of a classic samurai film and then lets you play it. Set on a breathtaking open-world island in feudal Japan, Ghost of Tsushima puts you in the sandals of Jin Sakai, one of the last samurai fighting against a Mongol invasion. The very first standoff you enter, where you hold a pose, hand on your sword hilt, waiting for the exact right moment to strike down an enemy in one clean cut, will make you feel like a legendary warrior. And that's just one of countless cinematic moments this game delivers amid its sprawling adventure. The gameplay masterfully balances honor and deception. As a samurai, Jin is a whirlwind of steel in open combat. The swordplay is elegant and deadly. You'll swap between stances on the fly to counter different enemy types, parry and dodge incoming strikes, and unleash satisfying killing blows. Every duel, whether against a Mongol general or a bandit leader, feels intense and personal. But when facing overwhelming odds, Jin can embrace the path of the ghost, using stealth and cunning to even the odds. You can silently assassinate enemies from the shadows, use your bow to pick off guards from afar, and terrify the rest with ghostly tactics like smoke bombs and intimidating executions. The game gives you the freedom to approach encounters your way, charge in with katana blazing, or eliminate foes like a ninja, or mix both styles. Both playstyles are so well developed that switching between them keeps the action fresh throughout. Tsushima Island itself is the other star of the show. It's an absolutely gorgeous landscape that you'll want to get lost in. Golden forests, fields of swaying pampas grass, tranquil shrines on cliffs. Every area looks like a living painting. There's even a black and white Kurosawa mode for true old-school samurai film vibes. As you explore, the game rewards your curiosity. Follow foxes to hidden shrines, compose haiku by waterfalls, or climb mountains to honor fallen legends. These side activities aren't just fluff. They immerse you deeper in the culture and Jin's journey, often with small stories or character moments attached. The Director's Cut edition for PS5 makes it even better with enhanced graphics. plus the Iki Island expansion, which adds a whole new chapter to Jin's tale. Ghost of Tsushima. Director's Cut is the kind of game where you intend to play for an hour and suddenly you've spent 3 completely absorbed in its world. For all its open world freedom, the game also weaves a powerful story of duty and sacrifice as Jin wrestles with his samurai code versus the need to protect his people. It's equally welcoming to casual players with flexible difficulty and clear guidance via the guiding wind feature, and satisfying for hardcore players who want to master its deep combat and seek out every secret. It's an epic samurai experience packed with heart and spectacle. Every swing of your sword, every ride through a picturesque valley, and every story quest feels meaningful. In short, Ghost of Tsushima is a journey through legend that is absolutely worth every second. Snow crunches under your boots as you step into a frosty Nordic wilderness. Then God of War Ragnarök opens with a thunderous knock at your door. The god of thunder himself, Thor, has come calling, and the earth-shattering showdown that follows sets the tone for this epic adventure. From that moment, Ragnarök seizes your attention and never lets go. It's a whirlwind journey through Norse mythology where every battle feels monumental and every vista looks like a painting. One minute you're brawling with towering beasts amid lava and ash, the next you're navigating a boat through serene, mystical waters beneath the northern lights. As Kratos, the legendary Spartan turned devoted dad, you wield weapons that make every fight a visceral thrill. The Leviathan axe thunders in your hand. You can almost feel its weight as you bury it into enemies, then magically recall it with a satisfying whoosh. The blades of chaos whip around in fiery arcs, perfect for shredding through hordes of foes. Combat is easy to pick up but offers layers of depth. You can execute flashy combos, switch weapons on the fly, and unleash jaw-dropping special attacks that light up the screen. Each encounter tests your skill and timing, and overcoming a particularly tough boss is an adrenaline rush. Thanks to a generous range of difficulty options, both casual players and hardcore warriors can tailor the challenge to their liking. What truly makes Ragnarök worth every second is the story at its heart. This is a tale of family, destiny, and learning to let go. Kratos and his son Atreus, now a determined young archer coming into his own, embark on a quest to prevent, or perhaps usher in, the end of the world. Along the way, their relationship is tested by secrets, prophecies, and hard choices. The writing and performances are top-notch. You'll go from laughing at Mimir's witty one-liners to choking up during poignant father-son moments. Supporting characters like Freya and new faces from Asgard and beyond are unforgettable, each adding layers of emotion, mystery, and even humor. By the time the credits roll, you'll feel like you've experienced an epic Norse saga firsthand. In God of War Ragnarök, story, combat, and exploration all come together in a beautifully paced adventure. There's virtually no filler, and every quest, even the seemingly small side missions, has purpose and heart. The production values are through the roof, with jaw-dropping visuals and a thunderous musical score that makes each moment feel grand. This game will have you gripping your controller and hanging on every word of dialogue. It's an emotional, action-packed masterpiece that is absolutely worth every second of your time. The countdown lights flash green, you slam the pedal to the metal, and the roar of a finely tuned V8 engine fills your ears. Gran Turismo 7 puts you in the driver's seat of the world's most coveted cars and doesn't just let you race, it makes you fall in love with car culture along the way. This isn't just an arcade racer, it's a driving simulator celebrated for its realism. But don't let that scare you off if you're not a hardcore gearhead. From the moment you enter the beautifully presented menus, styled like a car enthusiast resort, you can feel the passion GT7 has for all things automotive. The game offers something for everyone. Want a structured single-player experience? The GT Cafe mode acts as a guided tour through car history. You'll complete races and challenges to collect legendary cars, all while learning fun facts about them. It's a delightful way to progress, almost like a campaign where each menu is a set of objectives that celebrates a particular era or class of car. Prefer to hone your skills? License tests are back, pushing you to perfect every turn and braking point to earn your credentials. There's a ton of content, dozens of tracks with dynamic weather and time of day, and a garage of hundreds of meticulously modeled cars to acquire, tune, and customize. Whether you're doing a relaxed Sunday drive in a classic Porsche, drifting through corners in a tuned-up JDM Legend, or competing in high-stakes online races, GT7 has you covered. The driving itself is pure joy. Gran Turismo 7 nails that sensation of being on the track. Each car handles differently. You can feel the weight in the steering, the grip of the tires, the boost of a turbo kicking in. With assists on, even a newcomer can keep a Ferrari on the road. but turn them off and the game offers a simulation deep enough that real racers use it for practice. The PS5's hardware shines here. Stunning visuals showcase gleaming car bodies and detailed interiors, while the adaptive triggers let you feel the brake pressure and traction control through your fingertips. Rain on your windshield, the sun breaking through clouds at dusk. The immersion factor is incredible. And when you nail a perfect racing line through a tricky chicane, it's genuinely satisfying. Perhaps most importantly, Gran Turismo 7 is a celebration of the automobile. The game encourages you to admire your cars in Scape's photo mode, gives you historical context and anecdotes about models you win, and lets you customize everything from performance parts to paint jobs and decals. It's equally enjoyable whether you want to casually collect and cruise or dive into tuning and competitive racing. Few games can be this educational and this entertaining at the same time. If you have even a spark of interest in cars or racing, Gran Turismo 7 will ignite it into a full flame. It's a gorgeous, polished racing experience that's worth every second, from the first rev to the finish line. A rustling in the tall red grass sends your heart pounding. A huge robot velociraptor is stalking nearby, its neon eyes scanning for prey. In Horizon Forbidden West, moments like this are constant reminders of how alive and dangerous the world is. You play as Aloy, a skilled hunter armed with a bow, a spear, and an arsenal of gadgets salvaged from the old world. Fighting the game's awe-inspiring mechanical beasts is like a strategic dance. You might start by creeping in stealth, then fire off an armor-shredding arrow to expose a weak spot, and finally override the machine to turn it against its friends. Every encounter is a thrill, whether you're taking down a snake-like Slitherfang coiled around a ruined skyscraper, or battling a towering Tremortusk. Imagine a war elephant crossed with a tank. It's challenging in the best way, but also accessible. You can tweak the difficulty or tactics anytime, so both casual explorers and hardcore hunters can find their comfort zone. The open world here is jaw-droppingly gorgeous and just begging to be explored. Picture lush jungles, sun-scorched deserts, and the wave-battered shores of a post-apocalyptic San Francisco, all rendered in stunning detail. A dynamic day-night cycle and weather system make each region feel alive. A peaceful meadow might turn ominous under the glow of a red sunset or in the midst of a storm. And it's not just empty beauty. This world is packed with things to do. Ancient ruins hide puzzles and treasures, villages bustle with interesting characters offering side quests, and there are plenty of optional challenges like racing trials or combat arenas. Impressively, most of these activities tie into the lore or Aloy's journey, so it rarely feels like meaningless busy work. At the heart of it all is an engaging story that pushes Aloy farther than ever before. A mysterious red blight is spreading across the land, threatening to wipe out life, and Aloy ventures into uncharted western territories, seeking a cure and answers from the ancient past. Along the way, she encounters new tribes, some friendly, some hostile, and reunites with old allies, piecing together a grand sci-fi mystery that could save the world. The narrative strikes a great balance between epic, high-stakes drama and personal moments of friendship and growth. Aloy is a fantastic protagonist, determined, compassionate, and brave, and by the end, you feel truly connected to her journey and the friends who fight beside her. In Horizon Forbidden West, every second feels rewarding, whether you're pushing the main story forward or simply roaming the wilds in search of your next adventure. The game is a visual feast with rock-solid gameplay to match, blending action, stealth, and RPG elements, so you can play your way. If you love open-world adventures, rich storytelling, or just the idea of battling giant robot dinosaurs, Horizon Forbidden West will captivate you from start to finish. It's an epic experience that's absolutely worth every moment of your time. A gentle wind rustles through an enchanted forest as tiny black spirit creatures with big golden eyes curiously gather around a young adventurer. Kena, Bridge of Spirits immediately charms you with moments like this. You play as Kena, a spirit guide with the ability to help restless souls move on from the physical world. This game feels like stepping into a beautiful animated film. The visuals are lush and colorful, and the world is teeming with a mystical vibe. But it's not just about looks. Kena offers an action-adventure journey filled with exploration, light puzzle solving, and dynamic combat. Guiding spirits to peace means Kena has to confront the corruption plaguing the land. Gameplay-wise, that translates into battling all sorts of evil entities and solving environmental puzzles to cleanse areas. Kena wields a trusty staff that serves as her melee weapon. You can unleash quick combos or charge it for a heavy hit. And early on, the staff also transforms into a bow, adding ranged combat to your toolkit. The combat strikes a nice balance. It's easy to pick up, but timing and strategy do come into play, especially during boss fights that can surprisingly pack a punch. Assisting you are the Rot, those adorable little spirit companions that follow Kena. Don't let their cuteness fool you. In battle, you can send the Rot to swarm enemies to distract them or empower your attacks. And in puzzles, they can move objects and activate mechanisms. Mastering when to use their aid adds a fun layer to the gameplay. Each encounter feels rewarding, and as you progress, you unlock new abilities for Kena and the Rot that keep things fresh. Aside from combat, exploration is a joy. The world of Kena is segmented into regions like tranquil villages, ancient ruins, and serene mountain shrines. Each area has secrets to find, maybe a hidden Rot friend lurking under a rock, a cursed flower shrine to purify, or a memory of a spirit's past to uncover. The puzzles aren't overly complex, but they fit the environment nicely. Think rearranging statues to open a path, or using the Rot to carry puzzle pieces into place. All the while, a gorgeous musical score accompanies you, underscoring everything from peaceful moments to intense battles with an emotional touch. At its heart, Kena, Bridge of Spirits, tells a touching story about compassion and letting go. Through the spirits Kena helps, like siblings clinging to guild or a village elder protecting his home, you get heartfelt vignettes that hit surprisingly hard by the end. It's the kind of game that leaves you with a warm feeling, and with a playtime that's not too long, it ensures there's little to no filler. Just a well-paced adventure that respects your time. For both casual players and seasoned action-adventure fans, Kena, Bridge of Spirits is a delightful experience. It combines satisfying gameplay, stunning presentation, and a lot of heart, making every second of this journey well worth it. You're soaring above Manhattan at sunset, the wind rushing past as you dive between skyscrapers. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 wastes no time making you feel like the ultimate web-slinging hero. The sensation of momentum is exhilarating. Within seconds, you're zipping from rooftop to rooftop and catapulting yourself through the air on those iconic webs. If you've ever dreamed of being Spider-Man, this game captures that feeling perfectly from the very first swing. Better yet, this sequel gives you not one, but two Spider-Men to play as. You can seamlessly switch between Peter Parker and Miles Morales, each with their own set of spectacular powers and moves. Peter unleashes the symbiote suit's dark tendrils and raw strength, while Miles brings the thunder with his bioelectric venom blast. Tag team takedowns and flashy combo moves keep combat incredibly fresh. And the web wings, oh man, the web wings, let you glide across a gorgeously expanded New York City in style. The city itself is larger than before, with new boroughs like Brooklyn and Queens to explore, each filled with challenges and side missions that never feel like filler. Traversal was already a blast, but now it's on a whole new level of thrilling freedom. The story cranks the stakes up to 11. A relentless hunter is stalking the city's supervillains, pushing our two heroes to their absolute limit. The game throws you into blockbuster set pieces without delay. One minute you're in a high-speed chase as the lizard tears through the city. The next you're squaring off against a certain iconic nemesis who threatens everything Peter and Miles hold dear. Through it all, the narrative manages to stay heartfelt and personal, exploring friendship, responsibility, and the struggle of balancing two lives behind the mask. It's like a Marvel summer blockbuster fused with an emotional comic book storyline, and it totally works. Whether you're a casual player who just wants to feel like a superhero or a hardcore completionist aiming for that 100% platinum trophy, Spider-Man 2 delivers excitement at every turn. From the smallest street crime you foil to the most epic boss battle, every moment is pure interactive joy. The game looks stunning, plays like a dream, and respects your time by never bogging you down with pointless chores. It's a high-flying, heart-pumping adventure that truly is worth every second. Ever wanted to leap from a futuristic city straight into a dinosaur-filled jungle in the blink of an eye? Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart makes that wild scenario a reality, and it doesn't stop there. This game is essentially a playable Pixar movie, a vibrant, wacky, and gorgeous adventure that shows off what the PS5 can do. At its core, it's a buddy platformer shooter starring Ratchet, a heroic Lombax alien mechanic, and his adorable robot pal Clank. But Rift Apart shakes things up by introducing alternate dimensions, including a parallel universe version of Ratchet named Rivet, who is every bit as charming and capable as our longtime hero. When reality itself starts cracking open, our heroes bounce between worlds in an instant, leading to some of the coolest "did I really just do that?" moments in any game. Gameplay is an absolute blast. As Ratchet or Rivet, you'll wield an arsenal of over-the-top weapons that are as creative as they are destructive. Ever wanted to turn enemies into gardens? The topiary sprinkler gun will blast foes with a shot that leaves them momentarily frozen as shrubs. Prefer something with a little more punch? How about a lightning gun that zaps groups of enemies? The variety of guns keeps combat constantly entertaining and encourages you to try everything. Platforming and mobility are super smooth too. You can dash, wall run, and use rift tethers to zip across gaps or through dimensional tiers mid-fight, instantly flanking enemies. Every level throws new gadgets or mechanics at you, from riding alien speeders to gravity skating along futuristic cityscapes. It never gets dull. Visually and technically, Rift Apart is a showstopper. The different planets you visit are bursting with color and detail, from bustling alien cities to eerie robot graveyards and lush neon swamps. And thanks to the PS5's SSD, the game pulls off those trademark Rift jumps seamlessly. You can literally jump through a portal and land in a completely new environment with zero loading time, which still feels like magic even after doing it dozens of times. The story tying it all together is lighthearted and fun, with plenty of humor courtesy of the villainous and comically inept Dr. Nefarious and his alternate dimension counterpart. Ratchet and Rivet's parallel stories also bring a surprising amount of heart and warmth. By the end, you'll be fully invested in these characters and their interdimensional friendship. Simply put, Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart is pure joy from start to finish. It's accessible for all ages and skill levels. Kids will love the cartoon adventure and goofy weapons, while veteran gamers will appreciate the polished gameplay and can chase extra challenges like skill points or a new game plus mode. There's no filler, no boredom, just a tight, well-paced thrill ride through multiple universes. If you want a game that shows off your PS5 and keeps a smile plastered on your face, Rift Apart is absolutely worth every second. A lone cop walks into a remote European village at dusk, looking for the US president's kidnapped daughter. The locals stare from the shadows, and then all hell breaks loose as a mob of torch-wielding villagers closes in. Resident Evil 4. Remake throws you into the deep end like this and never lets up. From the opening village siege, where you're desperately barricading windows and roundhouse-kicking crazed villagers, while a chainsaw roars in the distance, you know you're in for a wild ride. This modern remake takes the classic 2005 action horror game and cranks it to the max with stunning graphics, tight controls, and a few new surprises, delivering a relentless experience that's equal parts terrifying and exhilarating. Playing as Leon S. Kennedy, secret agent and one-liner extraordinaire, you'll battle through gloomy forests and a creepy castle, all crawling with horrific enemies. The gameplay finds a perfect groove between survival horror tension and all-out action. Ammo and health are limited enough to keep you on edge, but Leon's capable combat moves and upgradable weapons give you the tools to handle the nightmare. One minute you're carefully sniping enemies from afar to conserve ammo, the next you're suplexing a parasite-infested cultist with your bare hands. The variety of combat scenarios keeps things fresh. You'll defend a cabin alongside an ally against waves of attackers, solve clever environmental puzzles to progress, and go head-to-head with grotesque bosses. And thanks to modernized controls and camera, everything feels smooth and responsive, a huge improvement that makes every fight more enjoyable without losing the challenge. What really makes RE4 worth every second is its masterful pacing and atmosphere. The game constantly shifts gears to keep you hooked. It can be genuinely spooky. You'll creep through misty graveyards and dungeons with your heart in your throat, dreading what's around the corner. But it's also a high adrenaline action thriller, complete with big explosions and over-the-top set pieces. Leon's dry wit and cheesy one-liners provide moments of levity amid the horror. "Where's everyone going? Bingo!" he quips after surviving the first onslaught. Meanwhile, the supporting cast, from the resourceful Ashley Graham, who you're there to rescue, to the enigmatic merchant, what are you buying? Make the journey memorable. The remake's improved storytelling and voice acting give these characters more depth while still embracing the original's fun B-movie vibe. Whether you're a horror veteran or a newcomer to the series, Resident Evil 4 Remake is a blast. Multiple difficulty settings let you choose a more forgiving experience or a brutally hard one for survival experts. And once you finish the pulse-pounding campaign, there's plenty of incentive to replay, from unlocking bonus modes and weapons to just experiencing the roller coaster again. It's not often that a game has zero dull moments, but RE4 accomplishes that. Every firefight, every narrow escape, every quiet, suspenseful hallway all add up to one unforgettable adventure. It's survival horror done to perfection, and absolutely worth every second of your time. Lightning cracks across an alien sky as you dash through a twisted alien forest, red orbs of enemy fire slicing past by inches. Returnal is relentless, heart-pounding action from the moment astronaut Selene crash lands on the hostile planet Atropos. Armed with futuristic weapons and a high-tech suit, you'll face hordes of bizarre creatures that spew bullet hell patterns of neon death. Inevitably, you will die, probably a lot, but in Returnal, death is only the beginning of the story. Each time Selene falls, she wakes up again at the crash site, stuck in a nightmarish time loop that challenges you to push further into the planet's shifting landscape. This hook is immediately captivating. Every loop is a chance to learn, adapt, and get a little farther, turning what could be frustration into pure determination. The gameplay is an electrifying blend of third-person shooting and roguelike progression. Selene moves like a thunderbolt. You're constantly sprinting, dashing, and leaping to avoid swarms of projectiles and flank enemies. The controls are silky smooth, making high-speed combat feel exhilarating and very skill-based. As you explore, you'll discover an arsenal of alien firearms, each with alternate fire modes and strange gadgets that can power up your abilities. No two runs are exactly the same. You might pick up a parasite that strengthens your shields at the cost of some malfunction risk, or grab a rare upgrade that makes your gunfire chain lightning between foes. These risk-reward choices keep things interesting and make each attempt unique, and when you finally conquer a tough boss, The rush of triumph is off the charts. What sets Returnal apart is its eerie atmosphere and unfolding mystery. The environments are hauntingly beautiful, from rain-soaked ruins of an ancient civilization to a crimson desert and beyond, and they dynamically rearrange with each cycle, keeping you on your toes. The sound design is phenomenal, with 3D audio making you constantly look over your shoulder. There's a deep, cryptic story beneath the surface, told through alien glyphs, audio logs, and surreal first-person sequences inside a seemingly familiar house that inexplicably appears on this alien world. It's creepy and intriguing, and you'll be piecing together clues about Celaene's past and the nature of this place with each loop. The narrative never pulls you out of the action for too long, but it adds a layer of psychological horror that elevates the whole experience. Make no mistake, Returnal is a challenging game. It's designed to test your reflexes and perseverance, but it's also incredibly rewarding. With each death, you come back a little wiser, a little more skilled, and that makes finally overcoming obstacles incredibly satisfying. For those worried about difficulty, recent updates added a suspend save option and even a co-op mode to make things more forgiving. Whether you're a hardcore arcade shooter fan who lives for high difficulty or a curious player drawn in by the mysterious story and atmosphere, Returnal delivers one intense, unforgettable ride. Every adrenaline-fueled run, every discovery in the dark, and every hard-earned victory contribute to a game that's absolutely worth every second, even the ones that end in defeat. A lone ginger cat slinks through a narrow alley under flickering neon signs, every paw step echoing in the emptiness. In Stray, you are that cat, and exploring a cyberpunk city from a feline perspective is as enchanting as it sounds. This indie adventure game flips the usual script by making you small, agile, and adorably four-legged. There's no dialogue. At least not from you. No guns, no over-the-top action, just the pure immersive experience of being a stray cat in a strange, beautiful world. Gameplay in Stray is all about using your cat instincts to navigate the environment and solve light puzzles. You'll scamper across rooftops, balance on pipes, squeeze through vents, and nudge objects off ledges, sometimes to cleverly create a path forward. Hopping between ledges is fluid and intuitive, and yes, you can meow on command. It's delightful. You'll interact with helpful robots by rubbing against their legs or knocking items off shelves to get their attention. There are also some tense moments. Eerie creatures called Zerks will chase you in certain areas, leading to thrilling chase sequences where you have to sprint and dart through obstacles. But overall, Stray is a relaxed, exploration-driven game that rewards curiosity. Hidden throughout the city are little memories and lore bits that flesh out what happened to this world, and finding them feels like uncovering secrets as a curious cat would. The atmosphere is the star of the show. Stray's city is a neon-soaked wonder, equal parts cozy and melancholic. It's populated by friendly humanoid robots who have built their own society in the absence of humans. As you explore slums lit by warm lanterns or climb high into bright, rain-soaked skylines, you're accompanied by a small flying drone named B12, who helps translate the robot language and stores the items you find. Through your journey, a surprisingly heartfelt story unfolds, touching on friendship, loss, and hope, all without a human protagonist. Many players find themselves emotionally attached to that little cat and its robot companion by the end. And if you're a cat owner, you'll appreciate all the loving details. The way the cat stretches, curls up to nap, or knocks over paint cans with that signature feline mischief. Stray is not a long game, but it is impeccably crafted. There's no fat to trim, no unnecessary filler, just a memorable afternoon or two in a one-of-a-kind setting. It's easy enough for casual players to enjoy. After all, who wouldn't enjoy being a cat for a while? Yet, its world and story are rich enough to engross anyone looking for something a bit different. By the time you finish Stray, you'll likely wish you could stay a little longer in its neon alleys. It's a gentle, lovingly made adventure that is absolutely worth every second, especially for anyone who's ever loved a cat or a good cyberpunk mystery. A quiet Texas night erupts into chaos as a deadly fungal outbreak begins. The Last of Us, Part 1 begins with one of the most gut-wrenching opening scenes in gaming, and it never loosens its grip on your heart. This PlayStation classic has been rebuilt on the PS5, looking more stunning and realistic than ever, but its core remains an unforgettable journey of survival and love in a world gone to hell. You play as Joel, a hardened survivor in a post-pandemic America overrun by a horrific fungal infection that turns people into monstrous infected. When Joel is tasked with escorting a young girl named Ellie across the country, what starts as a grim smuggling job evolves into a profound and harrowing road trip. Through crumbling cities and overgrown wilderness, you'll experience humanity at its best and worst, and the growing bond between two characters who learn to trust each other in the face of constant danger. Gameplay in The Last of Us is all about tension and strategy. Resources are scarce, so every bullet and bandage counts. You'll creep through ruined buildings, listening carefully for the telltale clicks of nearby infected or the chatter of hostile human raiders. Do you quietly sneak by deadly clickers, blind horrors that hunt by sound? Or do you risk a fight using your limited ammo and handmade shivs? The game constantly forces you to make tough choices in how you approach each encounter. When combat does break out, it's brutal and scrappy. Enemies grapple and swarm, and Joel isn't a superhero, so a couple of hits can take him down. Crafting makes things interesting too. You can improvise weapons and tools from what you scavenge, like taping blades to a bat for extra lethality, or fashioning a Molotov cocktail to torch a cluster of enemies. Every confrontation, whether you choose stealth, aggression, or a bit of both, feels intense and authentic to the desperate world you're in. As great as the gameplay is, it's the story and characters that make The Last of Us an experience worth savoring. Joel and Ellie's relationship starts off uneasy and distant, but over the course of their journey, you witness one of the most natural and heartwarming, and at times heart-wrenching, relationships in gaming. The writing and voice acting are absolutely top tier. You'll quickly forget these are digital characters as you become invested in their banter, their private pains, and their hopes. There are moments of levity. Ellie's jokes and her wonder at old world relics will make you smile, and moments that will leave you stunned, controller in hand, long after the scene ends. The supporting cast they meet along the way all feel like real people with their own stories and motives. The final act packs an emotional punch that few games can match. On PS5, The Last of Us Part 1 is the definitive way to experience this masterpiece. The visual overhaul makes every environment and facial expression incredibly lifelike, and the DualSense haptics add subtle immersion. It also includes the excellent prequel chapter Left Behind, which explores Ellie's past in a poignant side story. Whether you're a newcomer or revisiting Joel and Ellie's tale, the game offers a range of difficulty options from very accessible to brutally challenging. No matter how you play, you'll likely be glued to your seat through all 15 hours. The Last of Us isn't just a game, it's a journey that will leave a mark on you. Every second is worth it, even the ones that break your heart. What if a video game could magically transport you inside your new PlayStation 5? Astro's Playroom does exactly that, and it's an absolute delight. This charming 3D platformer comes pre-installed on every PS5, and it isn't just a tutorial or tech demo. It's a joyous celebration of all things PlayStation that will have you grinning from ear to ear. You control Astro, an adorable little robot, on a tour through imaginative worlds that represent the inside of the PS5 console. It's as if your console came to life as a theme park, full of fun rides and nods to gaming history. Astro's Playroom is designed to show off the PS5's DualSense controller in the coolest ways possible, and boy does it deliver. In one level, you'll feel the pitter-patter of rain through subtle vibrations, and sense the resistance as Astro pulls back a spring-loaded launcher, thanks to those adaptive triggers pushing against your fingers. In another, you might tilt the controller to roll Astro around like a marble in a maze. Each mechanic is introduced with such creativity that you can't help but say, "Whoa," the first time you feel it. But none of it feels gimmicky. It's woven into the gameplay seamlessly. More importantly, the levels themselves are a blast. From jumping across cooling fans in the Cooling Springs beach level, to scaling icy cliffs in SSD Speedway, the platforming is tight and satisfying. It's approachable for newbies, yet has enough hidden coins and challenge speedruns to engage veteran players. The whole adventure is also a nostalgic trip for anyone who's been a PlayStation fan. Each stage is littered with artifacts and Easter eggs from the brand's 25-year history. You'll collect classic consoles and accessories. Ever wanted to have a PlayStation 2 or a PSP as a collectible trophy in-game? And spot Astrobot's play-acting scenes from famous games. Keep your eyes peeled for homages to God of War, Metal Gear Solid, and many more. The soundtrack even incorporates the names of hardware components in catchy tunes. You might find yourself humming about GPUs and SSDs. It's clear the developers poured a lot of love and humor into every corner. The best part? Astro's Playroom is free and ready to play on your PS5 from day one, and it's the perfect first game to fire up. It's short, maybe a few hours to see everything, but those hours are pure magic, with no filler. It leaves you excited about the future of gaming while fondly remembering the past. Whether you're a seasoned gamer or someone new to the PlayStation family, Astro's Playroom will put a smile on your face. It's a showcase of the PS5's potential and a whole lot of fun to boot, making it absolutely worth every second. Imagine waking up one day as a tiny clay doll or a wooden figurine, trapped in a world where your toolbox, vacuum cleaner, and even a love guru book have come to life. That's the wild premise of It Takes Two, an innovative co-op adventure that is as heartfelt as it is hilarious. You play as May and Cody, a bickering couple on the verge of divorce who get magically turned into toy versions of themselves. To get back to their real bodies, they must work together, embarking on a crazy journey through imaginative worlds built from everyday objects and childhood fantasies. From the get-go, the game hooks you with its inventive setup and doesn't waste any time thrusting you into the action. What makes It Takes Two so special is that it's built from the ground up for two players. and cooperation isn't just encouraged, it's absolutely required. Every level presents you and your partner with unique sets of abilities that complement each other. In one stage, Cody can control time while May duplicates herself, forcing true cooperation. In another, one of you shoots nails that the other swings from with a hammer. The game constantly changes up the gameplay style. One minute you're platforming through a giant garden, the next you're in a top-down dungeon crawler. Later you're in a wild dogfight on the back of a plane. It's bonkers how many genres and mechanics are packed in, yet it all feels seamless. Most importantly, each challenge is designed to spark communication and teamwork. You'll be laughing, shouting out plans, and high-fiving when you finally crack a tricky section together. Beyond the sheer fun of the gameplay, It Takes Two also delivers a surprisingly heartfelt story about rekindling love and family. As May and Cody navigate magical versions of their neglected attic or snowy vacation memories, they start to rediscover what they liked about each other in the first place. The writing finds a great balance between comedy and emotion. One moment you'll be cracking up at the outrageous antics. There's a scene with a talking, dancing book of love that's straight up comedy gold. And the next moment you might feel a pang of emotion as the couple confronts their shortcomings and remember their daughter waiting for them. It's a tale about working together, quite literally, to fix what's broken. And because you're playing it with someone, be it a partner, friend, or family member, the story's themes of collaboration and communication hit even closer to home. There's practically zero filler in It Takes Two. It's a roller coaster of creativity from start to finish. The controls are easy to grasp, so even a non-gamer spouse or friend can join in, but the challenges are satisfying for seasoned players too. Every minute introduces something new, whether it's a fresh gameplay mechanic, a new joke, or a dazzling environment to explore. By the time you reach the finale, you'll likely be grinning ear to ear and maybe a little sad that the adventure is over. It's not just one of the best co-op games in years, it's a reminder that pure playful design and a lot of heart can make for a gaming experience that's worth every single second. Battle after battle, you slice through swarms of underworld monsters, dashing between traps and hurling spells like a one-man army, until one stray hit finally brings you down. But in Hades, death is not the end. It's actually just the beginning of another exhilarating attempt to escape the underworld. This indie gem is a roguelike action game steeped in Greek mythology, and it manages to make every failure as entertaining as success. You play as Zagreus, the rebellious son of Hades, who is determined to fight his way out of the land of the dead. Each time you die, and you will die many times, Zagreus is resurrected back in his father's house, a little stronger and a lot more determined, ready to charge out again. And here's the genius part. The story progresses with each run, win or lose, thanks to endlessly witty conversations and character development that await you between attempts. Hades' gameplay is fast, fluid, and addictingly fun. It's an isometric hack and slash at its core. Imagine a mix of Diablo-style combat and the tight controls of a fighting game. You have an array of weapons to unlock, from a swift sword and a massive axe to more exotic weapons like a throwable shield or a pair of punchy gauntlets. Combat is all about finding a build that clicks each run. You'll receive boons from Olympus as you go, gifts from gods like Zeus, Athena, or Aphrodite that grant you power. Maybe your arrows now chain lightning thanks to Zeus, or your dash leaves behind poison clouds courtesy of Dionysus. Combining these boons leads to ridiculously over-the-top builds. Part of the joy is experimenting to see what crazy synergies you can create. And when everything comes together, you'll be tearing through demons like butter, feeling like an absolute badass. Crucially, even when a run fails, you make a bit of permanent progress. You might have collected gems to upgrade your chambers, or darkness to increase Zagreus' stats, making each subsequent run a little easier or giving you new options. What really sets Hades apart is how it weaves narrative and relationships into the roguelike format. The game is fully voice-acted and overflowing with character. As you keep attempting escape, you'll chat with a delightful cast of gods, ghosts, and heroes. Your father Hades delivers scornful one-liners about your failures. Mentors like Achilles give you tips on technique. The Olympian gods cheer you on, and characters like Megara, a boss who you'll fight repeatedly, gradually reveal more of themselves in conversations after each clash. The writing is sharp, funny, and at times surprisingly heartfelt, and the art and music create a rich atmosphere that keeps you coming back for more. Whether you're in it for the white-knuckle action or the wonderfully told story, or both, Hades will keep you hooked. It's easy to pick up for a quick run, and before you know it, hours have flown by in a just one more try trance. The difficulty can be tough, but the game generously lets you tweak setting, a god mode for gradual difficulty reduction if you struggle, or extreme heat levels for veterans seeking a challenge. It's the kind of game that respects your time. Every run, even the ones where you get stomped by a boss, earns you something and entertains you with banter or new events. Few games marry gameplay and narrative this well. Hades feels like an epic quest you build one attempt at a time, and every adrenaline-filled second of it is absolutely worth it. And there you have it, 20 PS5 games that don't just waste time, they worship it. Whether you were outsmarting a time loop, dueling samurai style in a sea of maple leaves, or just vibing as a stray cat in a cyberpunk alley, these are the kind of games that make you say, just one more hour, 6 hours ago. Seriously, with so many games out there trying to pad playtime with busy work and grindy nonsense, it's refreshing to find ones that value your time as much as your skills. Games that hit you in the feels, test your reflexes, and maybe even make you question your life choices, like, did I just romance a vampire and save the multiverse in the same afternoon? Yes, you did. And it was glorious. So tell me, how many of these games have you played, and which ones made you completely lose track of time? Drop your faves and your regrets down in the comments because, let's be honest, we've all spent way too many hours chasing platinum trophies and emotionally recovering from that one twist we didn't see coming. Until next time, keep those controllers charged, your saves backed up, and remember, when a game's worth every second, it's not a waste, it's an adventure. Catch you in the next one.